our final prediction time of the regular season. Ooh. The Blazers play at the Rockets Thursday, the Spurs Saturday, Nuggets Monday, and then they end things against the Jazz at the Moda Center on Wednesday. Which games do the Blazers win? Which do they lose? Where do they end up in the playoff picture?
So this arguably has a bigger impact on us than the Blazers over the next 4 games, because this is going to decide who wins, these regular season picks, right?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And we're all still in the mix. Jared and I are tied the lead, 51-27. Unlike the Blazers, we got to that 50-win plateau. And so did you, Orlando. You're at 50-28, just the game back.
I've exceeded my expectations. What can I say? I thought I was a 45-win team, just like the Blazers.
Dude, you rose in the second half. You caught fire, my friend. Oh. So, I hear we're all different, so this will make it even more fun. I just picked the Blazers to go 1-3 over these next 4 games, and it's extremely difficult to pick because we don't know which games, if any, Damian Lillard is going to play these final 4 regular season games. Tomorrow night, they're not winning. Even if he did play, they're not winning tomorrow night against the Rockets. Saturday, that's the game I picked them to win. I picked them to beat the Spurs on Saturday, and I know Damian Lillard might not play in that game, but I just have a gut feeling that even shorthanded, I think the Blazers can beat the Spurs. The Spurs, they've been playing well, but then they have stints like they did last night in the fourth quarter where it just completely falls apart for them. And I think
Blazers-esque.
Very, very much so. And that's something I think the Blazers, even shorthanded, could take advantage of. I mean, while they looked terrible against Memphis without Dame last week, they're still 5-3 overall in the season when Damian Lillard doesn't play. So they've shown they can win without him. And they've had a knack for winning games against teams they're jockeying for playoff positioning against.
They get up for these games.
During the winning streak, they beat Golden State twice, they beat Utah, they beat Minnesota, they beat Oklahoma City, and they beat the Clippers. Even since the winning streak, the 4 games they've won since then, 3 of them were against the Thunder, Pelicans, and Clippers. So teams that they're competing against for playoff spots here in the Western Conference, they seem to rise for these games. And for some reason, I just have a gut feeling that they're going to go into San Antonio and beat them on Saturday. On Monday, I'm going to give the Nuggets the edge at home. Who knows? The Blazers may have the 3 seed locked up with 1 more win, so there might not be anything on the table for them.
That's what makes this a tough call.
But then you come to Wednesday, and if the Blazers have gone 0-3 up to that point, and the Jazz have gone 3-0, and they have the Clippers, Lakers, and Golden State, so it's possible the Jazz could win their next 3 games, and it's equally possible the Blazers could lose the next 3 games. Then those teams are playing for the Wednesday night for the 3 seed.
Oh, can you imagine that scenario?
That'd be a huge matchup for the Blazers. I give the Jazz the edge, though.
You want me to go?
Sure.
Okay.
Before you do, I believe if the Blazers beat the Spurs and the Spurs only, they lock up the 3 seed.
There we go.
Even if the Jazz win out?
That's not the case. If the Jazz win out, the Jazz can still get to 49.
Because I think the Jazz are 3 games behind the Blazers. So even if they beat the Spurs only, that would just be 1 win.
You're right. The Jazz. So they need to beat the Spurs and the Jazz.
Yeah. Or just have the Jazz lose.
Yeah.
Or
the Spurs lose.
I think that's what makes that matchup against the Spurs so much fun. I skipped right over the Rockets game because I think there's no way they're winning that game.
Yeah.
I feel pretty confident about the Rockets winning that. But yeah, I went back and forth on this Spurs matchup. To your point, the Blazers did beat the Spurs without Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
So who's to say it doesn't happen again? But I like the way the Spurs are playing, besides that loss to the Clippers where they gave up 19 and just kind of went into cruise control in the fourth quarter and suffered for it. I like the way they're playing. Aldridge is playing out of his mind right now. I mean, he is playing so well.
Yeah.
I like the Spurs in that game.
Okay.
So I'll take the Spurs to win that. So
you have them losing.
That's a Texas
to the Rockets
two-step in the L
Spurs.
column right there. So, but then I think they figure it out. Low-key, Nurkic is saying have a good summer again. Maybe not on the mic again.
I like that.
But I think the Blazers beat the Nuggets, and it sets the table for a great matchup against the Jazz. I'm banking on a healthy Damian Lillard. I'm banking on a healthy Ed Davis. So I think that they have 2 players back for that game. And I have a feeling that there's some value in terms of playoff seeding. So I give the advantage to the home team.
Interesting.
So 2-2.
Wow.
All
right, Jared, let's hear it. You've been king of optimism all year. Do we continue?
I have them beating the Rockets.
Ooh.
Here's my reason.
Oh, come on.
Ooh.
They're not playing on national TV tomorrow, so the Rockets wouldn't get dinged if they rest people. They have it wrapped up. There's no reason for them to keep playing their stars. The only reason they have is to maintain some kind of momentum. I think that they're going to rest their players. I think he'll start tomorrow, and I think they'll beat.
You saw
the
how
Rockets
bad
team.
they played against the Mavericks' bad players, right?
Yeah,
and
but
Memphis is bad players.
But we also know that they get up. They get up for teams that matter, and the Rockets, even if they're resting guys, matter.
Yeah.
And so I think that they're going to beat the Rockets because I don't think the Rockets are going to be playing at full strength tomorrow. Okay. And if they do play at full strength, then I'll probably be wrong. I have them losing to the Spurs because the Spurs are 31-8 at home. That's the third best home record in the NBA. Yeah. They're playing great basketball right now.
8-3.
I don't know if Lillard will be back, and I think if Lillard's not back, I don't think they beat the Spurs in San Antonio. If he is back, then it's a toss-up. But I have them losing to the Spurs. Nuggets for me is just a gut feeling. I just trust the Blazers against the Nuggets for some reason, and Yusuf Nurkic against Jokic. As good as Jokic is, except for one game, Nurkic has had his number, and so I believe the Blazers are going to go into Denver and win on Monday. And then I think if those predictions happen as I've laid them out, then the Blazers have their 50 wins. They've locked up the 3 seed. They rest against the Jazz on Wednesday, and the Jazz win.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I have them going 2-2 as well, just a little bit different.
Yeah. All these scenarios.
I know.
I mean, there's so many things.
It's so weird. It's hard to
based
pick.
on since you guys have them both win in 2 games, you guys say they take care of business and don't need any help in terms of getting.
Yeah,
that
they get
3
50.
seed.
And
see, I'm saying
that
either that
last game is for everything.
For everything, or I'm actually saying Utah's going to lose to the Clippers, I believe, tomorrow night when they play them, so it won't matter. But it could matter a lot and that's what's going to be so fun about this next week is there's so many different
Orlando
scenarios.
had him playing for everything against the Jazz as well because he has them losing to the Rockets and Spurs. And I'm
selfishly hoping for that because I'll be at the
That'd be so fun.
It would be fun if that game actually
if it matters.
It'd be amazing. Last game of the season.
Do you think
probably one of the last games that night of the season.
Do you think it will matter to the Blazers and Jazz whether they're the 3 or the 4 seed?
Yes.
You do think they would care if
deep down,
yeah, because I think that 5th seed is probably going to be it's either going to be the Jazz or the Spurs or the Blazers, and I think that you'd rather play the Thunder or the Pelicans or even the T-Wolves, although the T-Wolves are tough if Butler comes back, but I think that's a better matchup than playing either the Blazers, the Spurs, or the Jazz.
Man, this is going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be good times.
Yeah.